So Slovak Film Commission was launched in June 2018 as the new organizational unit of Slovak Audiovisual Fund in order to promote Slovakia and its regions as film-friendly country with the aim to become more attractive and accessible partner for foreign film productions and domestic investors. The main tasks of the Slovak Film Commission include intensive promotion and marketing of Slovakia as a competitive film country with suitable conditions for audiovisual production. Also the presentation of related services and individual regions of Slovakia in order to increase employment of the population and professionals in the audiovisual field. The other tasks include also to strengthen the demand for film production services, for example, technology, rentals, production and post-production services, animation, catering, and so on. And we also provide cash rebate consultations. Since the beginning, we've been very much working on our presentation, and we launched a website where you can find the location database, which is pretty much filled in with all the pictures from different regions in Slovakia and filming locations. So we encourage you to take a look. In case you are looking for anything specific, you can search there. And we also are updating our directory, which includes the production companies, institutions and organizations. You can also find some specific crew and personnel there, and we are continuously updating this database. Slovakia is member of EBRIMAGE, Creative Europe Media, EUFCN, the European Film Commissions Network, AFCI, the Association of Film Commissioners International, European Film Promotion, European Film Agency Directors, International Film Producers Associations, the International Federation of Film Archives, and the Film New Europe Association. Since 2014, Slovakia offers cash rebate. First, it was implemented 20%. And since the beginning of last year, 2020, it was raised to 33% on expenses spent on film or TV production in the Slovak Republic. There were some adjustments just recently implemented. Since the 1st of January 2021, we lowered the minimum expenses required for a cash rebate. So now it's 100,000 euros for individual feature film, or 50,000 euros for documentary or animation film spent in Slovakia over the period of 3 years after the project registration. And for the TV series, it's maximum, it's 300,000 for the whole series, which can be up to 26 episodes. And each episode has to have minimum 40 minutes. So we try to make the process very simple and very transparent. So there is a registration fee of 1,000 euros. After the registration of the project, the producer will receive a registration certificate. In order to register the project, it has to pass the cultural test, which is divided into 2 sections, the production and content-wise, and the eligibility period starts and is valid up to 3 years after the issuance of the certificate. The eligible expenses incur actual incurred and paid costs, including royalties and fees paid to the cast and crew, registered to pay taxes in Slovakia, or costs where the tax was deducted and paid in the Slovak Republic. All the costs related directly to the realization of the project are also eligible. Nowadays, with the new situation of coronavirus, we also accept the costs that were incurred related to the pandemic. There is no budget limit on eligible costs, and also there is no cap for the actual amount of the budget that Slovakia offers to the producers. And there is also no requirement to guarantee theatrical or non-theatrical distribution in Slovakia. The cash rebate is payable after the applicant has paid all eligible costs and delivered the final balance sheet and auditor's report. And it usually takes up to 2 to 3 months in order to check all these documents, sign the contract, and receive the payment. So I would like to present why Slovakia, what are the main things why you should consider Slovakia as your next filming location. Obviously, it's the incentives that are pretty compatible, competitive, excuse me. So it's 33%, as was mentioned earlier. Also the locations, because Slovakia offers culturally rich and diverse locations, including medieval towns and over 180 castles, also mountains, wildlife, and picturesque nature, and a modern architecture and industrial and urban settings. Slovakia is very accessible. It lies in the heart of Europe, and our closest international airport lies in Vienna, Švechat Airport, which is only 45-minute drive from the capital. We also have an airport in Bratislava, which is a little bit smaller, but it operates flights to all major European cities and also Middle East. And we also have some charter airports in Slovakia. There are 5 airports that can be used also for the charter flights. Our local currency is euro, so there is no need for converting currencies as it is in neighboring countries such as Czech Republic, Hungary, or Poland. The other advantage is proximity, because in Slovakia nothing is too far away. So the locations are very affordable and accessible. There are agreements between Slovakia and multiple other countries to avoid double taxation. We also offer experienced crews. So we have tradition in filmmaking, and you can find generations of filmmakers, including directors, art directors, DOPs, animators, composers, and editors. We are also trying to protect our locations. So we are a partner in the Green Screen project that is focusing on sustainability filmmaking. So we are also giving advices and guidelines for filmmakers how to film more sustainable. So this is the logo of the Green Screen project. So there were several major productions filmed in Slovakia. There is a curiosity that first Nosferatu movie by Murnau was shot here in 1922, but that's a long time ago. There were also some other productions in the 90s and early 21st century filmed in Slovakia. And recently there are some Netflix, Amazon series, but also production like The Red Sparrow. And now I will pass my word to Rastio Kuril because he has experience with filming these type of productions. And he will tell you something more about the film industry and infrastructure in Slovakia.
Well, thanks very much, Susanna, for your kind introduction. And again, hello everybody, and nice to have you here. My name is Rastio Kuril. I work as a service producer or production supervisor in Slovakia, and my speech will be about the possibilities which you have here beyond the rebate. But first of all, I'd like to share with you how special this presentation for me is, because one of the first presentations I was ever holding was actually at Berlinale. It's some 12 years ago. And in preparation of my speech for today, I just looked on my previous past presentation from those years, and I just got sort of a amazed how different the country and Slovakia itself is, and it got simply better. 12 years ago, standing in Berlin, I was talking about Slovakia as a country of locations, and it still is country of locations, beautiful and spectacular ones. And Patrick will give you more of an insight of this. But it's not only locations any longer. And this is what I would like to share basically with you, because that's what you're interested in when you're coming to the country. Well, first of all, of course, what are the possibilities of the rebate or the funding? And secondly, if you have a crew to work with. Thirdly, if you've got equipment to use. And fourth, if you have facilities where you can basically shoot your project. So this is the positive change which has been happening in Slovakia for past 12 years. Back to me or my background. Over the course of the past 8 years, I've been lucky enough to participate on most of the international projects that have been shot in Slovakia, starting with small Netflix shows, continuing with blockbusters for 20th Century Fox, and also participating on some Amazon projects and so on. So yes, Slovakia is changing, is no longer country of locations only, it's country of skilled crew, it's country of a very functional rebate, it's a country of facilities available, and most of all are eager to work in the industry and basically try to accommodate your project the best possible. So speaking of crew, in Slovakia you find basically English-speaking crew. Not everybody is necessarily fluent, but they do understand, and the key positions are fluent in the language. So you don't have a trouble of translators or people who basically don't understand what are the needs. More than that, it's not only the crew speaking English, it's also having them credits. So it's no longer your DOP screaming that, oh, I want someone with a spectacular portfolio. Well, we probably will be able to provide you with 2, 3, 5, you name it, depending on the availability of a skilled camera operators who could be good partners for your DOP, just as an example. And the English language spoken is on a very good level. Plus, if you know, or if you have any background on history of Slovakia, of course, there were times back in the past when not too many films were shot here because the other countries surrounding Slovakia were having more of a boosting industry. But that was also a time when the best of us went abroad and they worked on the biggest blockbusters ever shot in other countries. And now when there's work in Slovakia, local market or international market, both of them, they are happy to return home and they're bringing their own experience and skills, which they gathered over the course of the years. Of course, not everything is perfect. And I don't want to tell you that in case you need someone highly skilled or very specialized professional, you find them in Slovakia. For instance, precision drivers, I wouldn't say we have too many to choose from, or very specialized SFX teams. We do have SFX team in Slovakia, and they are very good to support your creative and production needs. But you may want to have to bring someone from abroad. But other than that, you just can basically build a crew. The crew is willing to work. That's sort of the benefit of our country. Since the industry is growing on slowly, people are willing and having a natural will to help with your project, and they do many times beyond what their contract is. The second important thing you're always interested in is the equipment. Do you have an equipment to work with when you come to Slovakia, or do you need to bring everything from abroad? Well, you can use local equipment. We've got camera rentals, we've got light rentals, grip rentals, all of that. In case you need something very, very special, as Zuzana was so kind to mention, Slovakia is in Central Europe. It's a fairly small country, and its benefit is the proximity. So nothing is too far away from here. I mean, you can physically bring a very special lens from either Budapest, Hungary, or from Prague, or even from Munich for just a good couple of hours. So you've got the equipment here. Of course, Slovakia is not, and I think it will never be, a production center like London or Budapest, which is currently the second biggest production hub in Europe. But we are finding our own place on the sun, and we're trying to basically build it and develop it and make it bigger and bigger. So that's why I'm saying that you can basically use the local equipment, and of course, all of that is rebatable. Speaking of facilities, again, the same as with equipment. We've got a very skilled catering companies. We've got units. We've got all of that which you need for your project to be done. The usual question then is, do you have studios or the stages? And yes, there are some old stages, either from the old filmmaking company, the National Filmmaking Company of Slovakia, or in public TV. These are having an aggregate total about 3,500 square meters. So it's probably not enough for a big project if such a project is coming to Slovakia. But for that, we've developed and successfully managed for a couple of years the way we use the warehouses. We just use the converted warehouses. There's many of those because Bratislava, being a production center, not only in filmmaking, but for basically whole industry of Slovakia, has in its surroundings many factories with big halls, which can be fairly easily converted into a stage and use it as a stage for your own purposes. So to basically sum this up, all of the requirements needed are here available, and you can use them not freely, but I'd say happily. And I must say, in my experience over the course of the last years, when in 2015, for instance, we were service producing a Netflix show called Marco Polo, we were delivering mostly locations and some facilities like catering, and I believe some 4x4s because we're shooting deeply in mountains. Well, last year we service produced a show for Netflix and Sci-Fi channel called Van Helsing. It was season 5, and I think only 17 people from abroad, from Canada, came. The rest was sourced from Slovakia. So this is also giving you an insight of how much the country is being developed, and what's our plan and goal, because we would like to offer you a service solution with the least possible wrinkles at your face. We don't want you to bring people over here. We don't want you to bring equipment over here. You can do that, of course, and you're mostly welcomed, but you can find sources in Slovakia, and those sources are both achievable in terms of a budget and available in terms of a time. Maybe later, if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer those specific ones. And as I said at the beginning of my presentation, back in 2009, I was talking at Berlinale about locations. Fortunately, Patrick is with us today, so he can tell more about locations. It's not my portion of this speech. But yes, Slovakia's locations are beautiful, and being a Slovak citizen, I must say they're the most beautiful in the world. I believe everybody says that. No, Susanna, am I right? So Patrick, go ahead.
You are right.
Thank you, Rasto. Thank you for giving me the word. So hi, everybody again. I will share you my presentation. So just a few seconds. Here it goes. And yeah. So as it was said, Slovakia has plenty of beautiful locations. So thank you for letting me to tell you a few words about them. Slovakia stands out mainly in 3 groups of locations, which I would like to talk about. They are breathtakingly beautiful and very suitable for production requirements. The first group of locations are our castles. We have more than 180 stunning castles in Slovakia, and that's an incredible number in the context of the size of our country. A real gem among all of them is Castle Bojnice, which with its exterior resembles the famous Walt Disney castle. You can see that. It's lovely. An unmissable monument towering of our capital city is Bratislava Castle. It's also called turntable because of its shape. The next one is Red Castle, Červený kamen in Slovakian language. It was used for shooting with several local productions, but lately for foreign production, Netflix vampire team series Van Helsing, it was used for that lately. So it's absolutely stunning. You can see that those underground cellars in the left down corner are huge. So the next one, Devin Castle, it's just a few kilometers from Bratislava, from the capital, and rises on a beautiful steep cliff above the Danube River. Orava Castle, which we can surely call Slovak Castle movie star. It was used for a lot of foreign productions, mainly for vampire-themed movies. As Zuzana said, it was also used for the first Dracula movie, Nosferatu, from Friedrich Munro, by Friedrich Munro. So that's a funny fact. And also lately it was used for the Dracula series by the BBC and Netflix production. So that's Orava Castle, lovely. Spiš Castle, it's one of the largest castle complexes in Central Europe, and its uniqueness is underlined by the panoramic view around. You can see high Tatras in good conditions, also low Tatras and other surrounding mountains. Next group of locations which I like to talk about are our national parks. We have 9 of them, and they are truly wild. High Tatras, those are the bigger mountains. They are actually really reachable because most of the valleys in High Tatras are accessible by the asphalt road. So Low Tatras, also it's also possible to get on the top of some of the peaks in Low Tatras. We shot their movie 3 years ago, and we shot their movie with Norwegian and Lithuanian production. It was a movie Outstilling Horses. We shot there in 2,000 meters above the sea level. So, and it was possible to get there also with horses. So yeah, the territories of our national parks are divided into 5 protection levels, and you can get the permissions under some conditions, of course, in each of them. Processing permits usually officially takes 30 days, but usually it goes smooth, and with the right location manager you can get the permission in 1 week, for example. So these natural wonders of Slovakia have been captured in several foreign productions, such as Dragon Heart movie, as it was said before, Marco Polo series, Behind the Enemy Lines. If I can find the pictures of Slovak paradise, it's this one. You can see the right picture in the down corner. It's a Tomaszowski view in English, and it's a location where it was Aragon and Dragon Heart movie shot. So it's a lovely location and accessible. The last group of locations which I would like to talk about is our inheritance from the past Soviet era. Memories of this infamous era are not very positive, but one of the few good things about this period was the construction and architecture of our state buildings, because the communists were not afraid to invest huge amounts of money in the materials, and they were not afraid to go and build unconventional, brutalistic and modernistic forms. Perfect examples are, for example, Radio Tower in Bratislava. It's upside down pyramid. National Television in Bratislava, National Council. Yes, this one is my favorite. It's the University of Agriculture, and the study hall looks like completely like a spaceship. So that's beautiful. Istropolis, yeah, in this case, in this location was the Red Sparrow movie shot. Yeah, these buildings are included in the world's collections of brutalistic architecture because they excel in a unique form, which is hard to find anywhere else in the world, I think. So that's it. Thank you very much for your attention. Feel free to ask any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you very much. I will continue with some update regarding the current situation. So just recently we entered into another lockdown, which will last until the 21st of March. And we believe that the situation will get better after this strict lockdown. At the moment, there is a need to quarantine if you enter from abroad. There are some exceptions for film crews traveling from Czech Republic, Poland, Hungary, and Austria. They can enter with the negative PCR or antigen test, which was made no later than 7 days. But however, from other countries, there is a need to quarantine for 8 days at the moment. Ministry of Culture will again give exemptions for the film crews and from abroad. And just to complete this information, there are local productions or co-productions still carrying on, so there is still filming is carrying on in Slovakia, but as I mentioned, mostly the local films or TV series. I will continue with my presentation again. So we've been with the locations and shooting permits that Patrick already mentioned some information. And in addition to the cash rebate scheme, Slovak Audiovisual Fund also offers a selective scheme for minority co-productions. The co-production which applies for a co-production grant has to have a Slovak co-producer on board who submits the grant application for a minority. So there are 2 calls throughout the year. Usually it's fall and spring, so September and April, if you plan to apply. But as I mentioned there, this is a selective scheme, so it has to pass through the committee, and the committee has to select the project to be supported. So I think that this was all from us. Thank you for your attention. And in case you have any questions, the time is now, so you can ask the questions in the chat, or in case you will remember later, please get in touch with me or my colleague. Here are contact details, and you can also follow our social media, where we are updating every information regarding the current situation and regarding the locations and other information you will find there or on our website.